thank everyone that is here today. This is with a sense of enormous joy that we are joined here today, enormous joy. And as well, it is with a recognition of something that is extremely important. That is that America made a promise and America kept her promise. That is the premise of which we stand here today. America made a promise and America kept her promise. From the beginnings of the Revolutionary War, America has had numbers of foreign soldiers help them win a victory for democracy. And when that happens, there is a deep sense of gratitude for helping America maintain the oldest democracy in the world. As a member of the United States Congress, we take very seriously the duties of commitment to our soldiers on the battlefield, the men and women of the United States military, their families. And there's one place, and certainly one war of recent time, where we know that the citizens, the persons of the country of origin, in a war that lasted 20 years, raised up soldiers to stand by Americans. After 9/11, most heinous terrorist act against the United States, in a war that drew support and conflict, the one thing we knew is that our soldiers wore the uniform fighting for their country. And had they not had those soldiers, those persons of Afghanistan ancestry, those Afghanistan citizens, those members of the Afghan military, to be at their side, would we have not had the victories and the overcoming that we did. If you listen to soldiers who have been in Afghanistan, you will know what they thought was a lifeline. The interpreters, those with intelligence skills in terms of gathering intelligence, and those who simply were on the battlefield. In addition to the Afghans, there were those Pakistani military that were fighting on the border. The Taliban exists today, not because of any diminishing of the blood that was shed by U.S. soldiers, Afghan soldiers, and others. And so when the call came in about Abdul Wasi Safi, when his brother Sammy had gone on and on in other places, could not seem to gather the significance of the life of this young soldier, I wanted to make sure that whatever resources I had, we could elevate this along with his excellent legal team and Erica and Zach, that we could work together to ensure a victory. Now, I want to be very clear. This is not about writing letters. This is about the elbow grease that got our government to be the government of promise. Before I finish, I just want to, at this moment, be able to indicate certainly our concern for the circumstances in Memphis, and to specifically take note of the loss of life, and to ask this community, Houston, whatever may come out in the later evening, just want to make sure that everyone remains calm and allows the justice system to proceed. I want to take this moment to say that. I said that to the family, and the reason is because we are in a democracy. We're here celebrating and commemorating by our story what happened. but we also want to maintain peace. So this was not a letter-writing campaign. This was to elevate this story to help America keep her promise. The first thing we did was to write to the President of the United States, and let me thank President Biden for his team that got involved. Writing to the President generated an understanding that we had a soldier held since September 30th, or September 2022, who had done nothing but try to flee the persecution of the Taliban and, in fact, try to protect his family, and he left their place so that they would not be in jeopardy. That is what we are seeing here today. A young soldier who threw himself to whatever travails he would face so that those who were pursuing him and others would not come to the front door of his sisters, his brothers, mother, and father, his younger sisters. And you have two young men here who both served in the capacity of helping the United States military. A treacherous journey he was on, the many countries that he went through, the beatings that he suffered in countries that did not give him the dignity of his service. But he kept on going, trying to get to the United States, and found himself in the midst of smuggled persons, yes, entering into a non-port of entry. For those who know, that port of entry is supposed to be your lifeline, but an asylum is an option for any who are able to get to U.S. soil. And so he was taken, showing all of his documents. He had his military documents to be able to show who he was. I'd like the poster boards to be shown and to be put out in place, please. That is what is startling to me. His first stop was in the immigration system. That immigration system was with the Border Patrol, CBP, and the Department of Homeland Security. Once I wrote the letter for pardon, I immediately went to them, and lo and behold, I thought it would be an easy workout. Called the Secretary of Homeland Security. They were eager to help, but it had been turned into a criminal case. Illegal entry, criminal offense. And it was immediately transferred to the Department of Justice under a criminal case. Please understand what a criminal case means. It is a long journey to be out, to be freed. We had to find a way, even though the Department of Homeland Security was eager to be of help. His case had gone over to the Department of Justice. He'd been moved to a facility for individuals who were criminally being held. Again, is that the protocol that we should have? America made a promise. And today we emphasize that America kept her promise. But I was not to be daunted as we began to work with a legal team that understood the innocence of Mr. Safi. When I first was contacted, Martin, by his brother, he was on the edge of a lawyer telling him, or a person, plead guilty. Plead guilty. I almost lost my breath. I know what guilty means in the legal system. I almost lost my breath. And we talked, and he heard what I said. We are innocent until proven guilty. This is what this family went through. Well, shortly thereafter, another team came in that you will hear from that were able to give him the same dignity that any citizen would have, the right to a trial, but in order to do so, to plead not guilty. I think I was en route to Washington, and it just took my breath away. He's going to court, he's telling him to plead guilty. And we were in the midst of trying to get America to do step by step by step. There's a point we got to the Department of Justice. There was a point where filings were made in the criminal system. but we had to get documentation to bolster who he was. Besides the lawyers working who will detail that, we work with law enforcement, but things remain on desks. Good intentions, but they remain on desks. We had to secure the documents to make sure they got to Washington so that it could help the case that was here in Texas. That's getting after law enforcement. That's calling them. Did the documents leave? Are they in Washington? Are they going to be looked at? They were looked at in 24 hours. But in the midst of that, this is another agency that I'm so very proud of. I'm very proud of the men and women of the United States military who wrote many letters, veterans, members of Congress who served. And since those letters were there, Department of Defense became the fact finder. And they answered my call immediately and provided information that I'll read a little bit later that I was able to utilize as we went forward. When the lawyers were successful, when they finally acted and sent information down that this gentleman was not a threat, he was not a Taliban, he was a soldier that was willing to risk his life along U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. Then we had another stop. He was being detained by another agency. When we called the agency, they didn't know anything about the case. But they were, in fact, the ones that would have the final act of getting rid of the detainer. So I would just want to publicly thank ICE and their regional director for quickly accumulating and accepting the facts and documents that we gave them, and particularly the document that came from the Department of Defense. And their work moved quicker than I've ever seen. America made a promise, and America kept a promise. I don't say this to complicate all the cases that may come to our attention. I say this for you to know the journey that Mr. Safi went through. He was detained like he had committed a criminal act. This is not indicting the persons who handled it in this manner. It is to lift up those who said we have to fix it. And I'm grateful that they worked with all of us. They took the information, and in essence, we were getting things done within 24 hours, 2 days, after this long journey that he had taken. He's united with his brother, who is his own best champion. Sammy never stopped. I would get calls on the way to the airport, late at night, just like he should. And I am going to say that that Devin of a particular station, KPRC, reached out. But it is all of the team that is standing here that you'll hear from in just a moment that shows the goodness of America. That is why we came to talk to you today. We hear so much. We hear the immigration system is broken, and there's much work for us to do. But when we can put these pieces together and Americans stand up and dig deep and get information and work, when they responded to the pardon letter, when they knew it was there, when they responded to the documentation that came in from another agency, and they put the pieces together, we're standing here to say that this soldier is free. And we're excited about what steps we have to take next. So the last thing I want to offer is the fact, just a simple lesson. We're not always how we look. Obviously, there was some thought he was a Taliban. We're not always the way we look. And because this country is a place of refuge for people coming and fleeing persecution, Martin Kaminsky will speak a few persons down who deals with these people every day. And I read from a general who was on the battlefield, Afghan. I do attest that Mr. Safi provided faithful and valuable service in the Afghan government and U.S. partners. His actions minimized insider threats against the U.S. personnel serving in Afghanistan. Attached is a promotion letter to further document his history of success. His previous duties made him known to the Taliban. I'm aware that some of Mr. Safi's colleagues were captured, tortured, and killed by the Taliban in recent months. He and his immediate family face danger to return to Afghanistan. General Alital, former chief of Afghanistan military army. We're not always how we look. And I wanted to make sure that I proved all of the naysayers wrong, that America made a promise and she kept it. So I just want to say to Sammy, I told them they look very much alike. I just want to say to Sammy, we all are grateful to you. We'll take your calls anytime. And I don't think Sammy slept for all the months that you were in and on the road.
That's true.
And he said that's true. And so let me now yield to Sammy Safi, who has become our partner in what is good and what is right. Sammy.
Just a second.
You can hold it.
Sorry.
This better? He said this is better.
This is working?
Mm-hmm.
This is working?
Can you hear him? 'Cause testing.
It's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think we'll be fine without the mic.
Yeah.
So,
You're good. You're good.
yes. So, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the media, because of your hard and endless efforts, the story went all around the world. And it got the attention of so many. And I have so much to say, but I would like to first start by thanking Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee for helping us by simply a call from Devin. It was easy to get her attention and get her involved into this case. So today a wrong has been made right, and I would like to thank those that have worked tirelessly to secure justice for my brother. We all know he was facing expedited removal from United States, and he was facing criminal charges for illegally crossing into United States. Knowing all those facts, it was very hard for me to think the things that could have happened to my brother if he was sent back to Afghanistan. We have held the faith that America does not abandon its allies. And while this process did not begin the way we had hoped, today it's a giant step in the right direction. And we will look to move towards seeking asylum for my brother. He deserved to be here. He served this nation. He believed the work he was doing will give him the respect, the value, and honestly, I cannot thank each and every one of you, especially my brother's attorney, Erica, and her partner, Zach, and the person who put all the efforts and all the team together, Miss Erica. My brother was told by previous attorneys, and he was being forced to plead guilty. And I knew that if he was to plead guilty, he was in a process of expedited removal. And when I reached out to Miss Erica, and we put a legal team together to find out what are the best options. And surprisingly, we found out that the minute he pleads guilty for a crime that he have not committed, he will be deported back to Afghanistan, or most likely. So I shared my concerns to Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, and I'm so thankful for her efforts reaching out the government officials to stand by my brother and do the right thing, do what was promised to him. He was promised that we will never leave our allies behind, and we held that promise, and we asked justice for my brother. Today, I'm so happy that he's next to me. My family is now released from all the stress and everything that was happening. It would have been a huge failure on the trust to this nation if he was sent back to Afghanistan. But now we have him here, and we will move towards seeking asylum for him from United States government officials. And I have not much to say. Thank you so much, Devin. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking this story to every level possible so that he can get the attention he needs at the situation we were dealing with. Thank you so much.
The asylum is not extraordinary. No one should think it is. He has every right, fleeing persecution, to ask for asylum in the United States. As the chair of the Afghanistan caucus in the United States Congress since the Afghan war, I look forward to hosting you in Washington to tell your story. Caucus still is strong because we are still fighting for democracy in Afghanistan, but you have been an important measure, important part. Your general knows it. The Department of Defense knows it. And so I'm happy to welcome you and to say you are free.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy.
Thank you so much.
And here is Abdul Wasi Safi. Deep from the heart. Let me step over there. It's okay. Should I step over there?
First,
Thank you, everyone. Like everyone knows, I have a little bit language problem, and I want to say a lot of things, but I hope they understand what I'm saying. I am relieved to be stand in front of you all today. I would like to thank everyone, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, like she helped me a lot, and my attorneys, Erica, Zach, and officially like Miss Erica, for not give up and fighting for me as someone who trained with and stood shoulder to shoulder with American force in Afghanistan and stood in the war on terror. I am hopeful about the next step in this process and one day being able to live American dream. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you to all for supporting me. For before I come, I come here. Like I think I have only one brother here, but now I understand. No, I am not alone. I have like Congresswoman, like my mom. She helped me a lot. Like, yeah, because she do more than that one mom do for his son. Thank you so much, Mom. Like Miss Reka to support me, to always ask about me, and my brother, like he helped me a lot. I know for when I was in detention center for 4 months, I know that he never do sleep, and he always try to help me talk with media and my attorneys, because before them, I think they send me back to my country, and if they send me back, of course the Taliban, they have biometric system, they have everything. They kill me in the airport, but when I talk with them, I feel better, like I think, no, I have chance to be here. Thank you so much, Mom. Thank you everyone. Thank you.
There'll be quite a few tears up here for a minute. Let me acknowledge that there are veterans here. There are leaders of the Pakistani community that are here. And there are members of the faith community, members of the business community. We're so grateful for your presence here today. And of course, we have one of the leading refugee resettlement organizations, and we will hear from him after we bring up, and I've called them by their first name now because we've been texting and we've been engaged. And so I want to bring up Zach and Erica over here, and I know there are two Ericas, so if both Ericas want to come, we have become late night callers, and thank you all. I happen to be a lawyer and still am, and a lawyer by training, so I have a big love proclivity for what lawyers can do. It was good to be working with you. Great team. Why don't you come on, please? Thank you so very much. Can you manage? Okay. Okay, good. There you go.
Well, thank you all for being here. As a lawyer, once in a while, you get to be part of something really special. This is one of those special moments in my career. To be able to help someone like Wasi, he's someone's son, he's someone's brother, he's a soldier. This is someone who was raised in a country at war. He has not known a measure of peace in his adult life. Maybe now he can begin to know that measure of peace here in America, because this is what America's about. He's also my friend.
Thank you so much.
None of this would have been possible had it not been for our team, Erica, Congresswoman Lee, Erica and Cody, and my investigators, Ziad and Jay Sockley. Thank you. Thank you to my team. Thank you.
I just have to say that the promise and the spirit of America is alive and well in Wasi, Sammy, and in Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Because without her, we would not be here today. In the last 20 days, we were counting. In 20 days, we were able to achieve what we're here to celebrate today. And it's not because we did it all ourselves. We had the help of not just the Congresswoman, but law enforcement, all the agencies who assisted and facilitated the release and the freedom for Wasi. So we're grateful to all of you, and especially grateful to Congresswoman Lee. Thank you.
Grateful to you all. Thank you so very much. To the team, you said something very important, Zach, and I just want everybody to reinforce that. Both of these young men grew up, their life was in a war-torn country. Their life was with U.S. soldiers. Their life was protected by U.S. soldiers. Their life was protected by their own family. They're a family that have been engaged in defending their nation, their own nation, their legacy of family members who've served in the Afghan military. They care about their country. They care about democracy. They cared about the U.S. soldiers. They cared about them. They made friends. And I'm sure that they will find those friends, having the opportunity now to live their life. For the last couple of months, Sammy could not live his life because all he was doing was trying to be free, or get his brother to be free, and for him to be free from the fear of what would happen to his brother. So I want Martin Kaminsky to come. I'm glad that he came. We have worked together with the Afghan families that have come, but Martin can share with you the desperation that refugees and people fleeing persecution. As a member of the United States Congress, as he comes, I can truly share with you the terrors of the Taliban, because my caucus was organized in the midst of the success of the efforts of the U.S. and the establishment of the Afghan government, fledgling government trying to stand tall with the first president, President Karzai. And at that time, just a little bit of history, they had a parliament, they had elections. I visited the president and the members of the parliament. They were writing a constitution that tracked the U.S. Constitution. Women were in the parliament. Girls were going to school and boys were going to school. In the midst of that came a terrible breach of policy, and the Taliban was able to come up again. They killed women who were in government, and they burned girls' schools. All this, these two brothers were growing up in. It just brought back memories. I remember being in the midst of a reception with the new elected parliamentarians, and that came to an end. So when we see these refugees and persons fleeing, we need to understand what it is, what they were trying to do, because they did have a Kabul where there were businesses and families and thriving community. But when the breach comes, there can be a terrible, terrible results. So Martin, if you would come, you deal with so many refugees, we appreciate it. Just come and
Sure. Excuse me just a second.
representing all the workers in the refugee
Thank you,
community.
Congresswoman. I'm Martin Kaminsky. I'm the president and CEO of Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston. And what I want to say first is welcome, Abdul. We're so glad to have you in the United States. My job is usually an easier one than the one that the Congresswoman has pursued for Abdul. We are about welcoming refugees to our country in an orderly process that allows them to be educated, to learn English as a second language, to find a job, and to be productive people on a path to citizenship. And that job is not easy for anybody, but the journey that Abdul had to take was a very complicated one. We're proud of the work we do, but we couldn't do that work without the support of people like the Congresswoman, great lawyers who understood this case and took it as a challenge and worked through it, and to the media who helps us tell the stories of the lives of Afghans and other refugees whose lives have been disrupted totally and who come here with the promise of a new start. So all I want to say is we're here to help you. We're here to help all of the refugees that come to our country together with 4 other collaborating resettlement organizations in our city. We have welcomed over 6,000 Afghans, but you are number 1 today, and we want to do our part to recognize and to support you. Anything we can do to help you, we will. And thank you, Congresswoman, and all the folks that helped get Abdul here safely to Houston, Texas. Welcome.
Martin and I work very well together. I thought I was going to have to come to the mic and say, Martin, you're going to help Mr. Safi, but he already knew why he was here. To lend any resources that he may have. He already knew why he was here. Cody, you have certainly been at their side. Please come, and I'm going to have a representative from the Afghan community, and we find out which one it's going to be, and then we'll thank you.
Thank you. Today's not just a good day, it's a great day. Having served in Afghanistan and seen firsthand the sacrifices of soldiers like Wasi and Sami, they have sacrificed just as much as anyone. And when I read the story, Allison, you think you were the first one to break it. I was enraged. And
I'm sorry.
And we knew something had to be done. And, you know, Congresswoman, it's not a Republican issue, it's not a Democratic issue, it's an American issue.
That's right.
And today is a win. It's a win for freedom, and it's a win for you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to America.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And let me have my friend from the community who present himself. We were together before, were we not?
Yeah.
When we were trying to bring him home.
Yeah,
And here you are, sir. You tell me your name.
Yeah, my name is Nisar Muman, and I'm one of the Afghan community here in Houston, Texas, one of the leader. First, allow me to thanks to everyone who show up here today and the people who helped Abdul Wasi during all this time. Especially thank you, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Be honest with you, this is not the first time that she is helping our community. I still remember it was 2017. Then there was one of the Afghan interpreter. He was on the he was almost on the deportation moment, and she showed up with the media at the Bush airport with us, and within few hours she was able to release that family, and that person he is waiting for his U.S. citizen passport now. That is a big success for us. And of course, the resettlement agencies, all these people who are with us today, I, as an Afghan community leader, as an Afghan U.S. citizen, we really appreciate all the efforts, what you did. And I will not forget the resettlement agency, what they are doing for our community here in the Houston, Texas. Thank you for everything. But here today, I will mention one small thing, that Abdul Wasi, we are very happy for them, for his brother. I know, I still remember when his brother first time he called me, trust me, I'm sorry, like I'm a little bit emotional, okay. But he called me and he was about to cry, that, you know, and he told me that his brother is not a criminal, you know, he worked for the U.S. Army, but we are happy that we have a family here. And when the Harvey happened here, I did an interview with one of the TV channel, and they told me why you are helping the people. When our community came out and we were helping the people, you know, with the foods and everything. No, we told them that this country, they welcome us. And today is our time that we can help our people here. Now, yes, of course, this is a welcoming country. Today is a big victory for us. But please, especially the media and the government official, please do not forget that people who are still left behind. This is not the last person. This is the first page of the book. Please raise your voice. Please, there is hundreds of people, thousands of people. They are every day they are targeting. There are silent killing is starting. They are killing the people who supported the U.S. mission. There is, we need to raise our voice. We don't need to be silent. I don't want to say a lot of things, but that's a big victory, and that's a big victory for the U.S. that they promise us that they will not left us behind, and they show today. And our demand will be that they can help that people who are still left behind. Thank you for everyone. Thank you for your support, and we love you all. Thank you.
Let me ask, and we have two more speakers, and I thank you for your patience here today, but this is such a moment. Thank you so very much. And thank you for showing again what America is that when we are here, we are one, and we help each other. We are neighbors, and we help each other. As I know, we face some terrible disaster impact out in our friends in Pasadena. I had people calling me saying that they were on the way out to be able to be helpful to them over these last couple of days. In the region, it is Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh are in the same region, and all having challenges. I am grateful that the Pakistani American community represents some of the help that Pakistan gave and gave to some of the persons who were trying to flee. And so I want Dr. Qadir to come and make mention of the friendship to help people that may come over the border.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Asif Qadir from Pakistani Muslim community. America made a promise to soldier Wasi Safi. Today, America kept that promise. Behind this is the tireless effort of Honorable Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, who wrote to the President of United States of America, Joe Biden, and spoken to the Homeland Security, and her efforts were there. We all know when Congresswoman gets after something, she will call again and again and again until the job is done. I'm happy to, Congressman, your efforts has brought the promise which America has done. Soldier Wasi Safi fought and worked shoulder to shoulder with American soldiers. Let's honor him today, because a promise has been kept by America, and it is because of the tireless effort of our Congresswoman proudly serving the 18th District. Thank you, Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee.
I know Bishop Rush is here. Is someone representing him? Or? Oh, he did? Okay.
He was here.
Didn't find him. All right, well, let me at least acknowledge these U.S. vets. I see you got your hat on, sir. You are, what's your name?
Christopher Robinson.
Christopher Robinson, a vet. Anyone else?
Pastor Colston.
Pastor, it's
Colston.
Colston. Vet?
Vet.
Yes.
Earl Lundy, veteran.
All right.
Thank you.
Pastor, why don't you come and just represent these vets, and Bishop Rush is certainly someone who helps veterans. That's why we have him here. Sorry that we missed him, but if you would, veterans, thank you very much. What branch?
Army.
Army?
Navy, U.S. Navy.
All right. And you?
Marine.
Oh.
Amen. Amen.
Vets are in the house.
I represent two communities, a faith-based community, and also United States Marines.
Here, here.
I am 20-year retired, 20 years, 8 months retired Marine, and I know what it means to have another country stand beside our country to make sure that our soldiers, Marines, and Navies make it home. That is very, very important.